No, I think you covered it all. Just go ahead and get into those questions.
Okay, cool. So, starting with the top here, there was that scenario given by Bobby Axelrod about, would this scenario put downward pressure on milk? Do you want to just sum that up?
Yeah, I can go just sum that up. That's a scenario where someone is trying to avoid the 50% staking limit on milk by transferring between wallets. And I think I'm almost certain that it wouldn't work because of the wallet to wallet transaction fees. So, I think it breaks down right after his second transaction. He has 10 trillion milk. He stakes 5 trillion, has another 10 trillion left to 5 trillion to stake, has 5 trillion. He sends it to a next wallet. If he were to send it to the next wallet, he would only get 4.4 trillion to that wallet. And then if you were to send it back to the next upper wallet to say take out his milk that he staked half of, he would then only have I think 3.5, 3.4 million or trillion. So it breaks down because of those wallet to wallet transaction fees. It wouldn't be possible to avoid it in that way. Unfortunately, to the people who want to abuse the system, but fortunate for us for making a system that can't be abused in that way.
Cool, right. So, this next question is pretty much asked like four times, just reworded in different ways. So, this will kind of just be something that you can cover it all at once, which is the actual use case for butter. And then, people eventually ask, like, what are future use cases, etc. So, let's just say what we have planned with it and its official use.
Yeah, well, we have planned for it in the near future, as in this week is the butter token is going to be our sort of governance token. It's what's going to allow you guys to suggest charities to be voted on and vote on those charities. The voting will be free. It won't use your butter. It won't use any of your butter tokens, but it will require a gas fee because it's interacting with a smart contract. And I want all of that to be, immutable on the smart chain so that you can always go back and look at, say, oh, did butter token vote for which charity which day? You can go back and look through the transaction history and you can see it. It's immutable. It's always there in perpetuity on the smart chain. And then suggesting a charity will have some costs. So we don't get like a Mountain Dew poll scenario where we have just 10 ridiculous charities. They aren't even real charities. People are just wasting our time and everyone's time by suggesting ridiculousness. So there'll be a small cost of that to kind of dissuade that from happening. And as for further use cases, we are working on some games like a lottery akin to Pancake Swaps and something like Bingo, one of our other team members suggested. So we want to kind of gamify it a bit. And then even moving more down the line, we want to have, NFT farming, and something cool that we thought of is what if we could do something like real life collectible farming. So you could say your address is permitted to earn, I guess, one or two of these NFTs that would be redeemable for a real life customizable, item. So you can actually redeem them in our merchandise shop for an item, and then you could customize it in some way. I think that'd be a really cool way to bring, those sort of NFTs into a real world context. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good. Kind of covers like where we're going with it, both recent and a little bit more into the future. And then, as you know, the main use case right now, just to answer the question too, is just to build up charity, and a percentage goes to marketing and funds, which helps us continue to grow and advertise as we go along. So, milk holders are just rewarded, for staking and getting free milk or free butter with that. And I guess it kind of leads into the next one with Bobby Axelrod asking about the charity donations, which, as he found out, yes, we did do one with the crypto address, and I think we should continue to do that if we can because it's nice. Everybody can track exactly where everything goes and see everything very clearly because they accept crypto. But do you want to expand on that question about charities involving crypto addresses, and will we stick to doing that?
Yeah, I mean, we really would like to stick to charities that do crypto because, it was shown by the last donation we made, it's super easy to track. I mean, you can check everything on the blockchain. It's immediately verifiable. And hopefully, when we're a legal entity, if a charity wins that's not, accepting crypto, we can show those like bank statements without divulging any personal information. It's much easier and much more transparent. But the crypto makes it so much easier because you can see all the transactions that go through and lead through that. So we want to focus on those, but unfortunately, as of date, there's only, I think, three food-based charities that accept cryptocurrency, which is what kind of our focus was going to be on. But that can branch out in the future as people suggest their own charities. We can always, look out into other things. But we would really, really, really like to continue going with the ones that accept crypto. And there's some really cool things with some charities that accept crypto, which I think Iris is going to touch on later, where they are actually able to track how those funds are used directly on the blockchain, so it's immediately verifiable where your funds end up going.
Right. Yeah. And I think there are a few more than three, but those might be exclusive to US. Like I did a lot of research, the ones that look the best and the ones that aren't just we might do US charities every so often, but we want to make it as inclusive as possible. So I picked charities that help the entire world, not just the US. And so that does really limit the ones that we can choose. And so you went into and you briefly mentioned there the legal entity setup and um, our plans with that. And so the next question asks like doxing the entire team and the next steps with that. Will this project face any issues with CMC listings due to less volume since we're now staking coins? Um, yeah, so do you want to start with the doxing and then go into maybe the CMC listings and other listings?
Yeah, I'll start with the doxing. I spoke with a lawyer last week about what we need to do in order to actually register as a company, and he's looking into it right now. I'm expecting to hear back from him next week about that. It gets a little complicated considering we're based in the US and the SEC doesn't really know how to treat these sort of things. So he's kind of looking in to make sure that we've got everything, all our ducks in a row. He sounded pretty confident that we could go ahead and we'll be fine. But as soon as we get a go ahead from the lawyer that I've spoken with, and as soon as those, I guess, forms are filed with the state government and we are registered it, before we even registered, as soon as those forms are sent in to be registered as a legal entity, we will be safe and we'll have those protections because those will go through once they're sent. So we don't have to have a waiting period until it's like officially recognized by the state. We'll still be covered by those, and we are comfortable with doxing ourselves once we have all those legal, I guess, scenarios in place, all that legal protection in place. And as for issues with listing, we can get listed with low volume, but as for a tracked listing, as we saw with milk, we have to have enough volume to be a tracked listing. And I don't know, they don't disclose what the requirements are to be a tracked listing. They say three-figure volumes are hard to justify, and we have 5 6 figure volumes on milk, and right now they're 4 or 5 on butter. So they are larger than the ones they said, but they said as soon as they see those volumes, and I can reach out once we do see those sustained volumes, and they will get us listed.
Yeah, and that's kind of the next couple questions both mention plans to get on exchanges. And yeah, butter will be going on and requested just like milk. I think we've already requested for some exchanges with butter. It's just a matter of how long it takes. We've been we're finishing up week 3 here in a few days, and still we haven't been listed on CoinGecko for milk. So it takes a while. There's a process. There's a lot of people getting in at once, and it's out of our hands at a certain point. We just have to you know see when they post it. But weren't we? I think we were going to send a follow up anyways to CoinGecko, just to check on it and see what's going on with that. Um, yeah, correct.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to send a resubmission for CoinGecko because I heard about another token that had a same sort of thing. They waited 2 3 4 weeks and they didn't hear anything back, and they resubmitted and they got a response in 3 days. So yeah, I don't know how much they're hung up with a bunch of just random projects popping up and just sending them in just absolute garbage or actual good stuff. So it's tough to sift through. So I'll resubmit tomorrow, and then we'll
Cool.
hopefully hear back soon.
Okay. Um, Next question we have is: would we consider ditching milk and letting people swap it for butter? That way, the marketing and market cap wouldn't be split in half.
I don't think, one, that's not something that we could possibly do. There's no way to allow people to just swap their milk directly for butter unless they, I mean, did a swap on Pancake Swap for butter. And I don't think the issue is really whether marketing is split in half, because every time we've done a marketing effort, it's been for both tokens. We've tried to promote both of them at once. It's they're both part of the ecosystem and they both serve their own roles. So I don't think it's an issue of splitting them in half. It's an issue that we need to continue to develop the use cases for butter, because right now milk's use case is, yeah, you get milk if you hold milk, and you can earn butter if you hold milk. But as we add those further use cases down the line, they're both going to serve their own role in the ecosystem. So I don't think ditching them is ditching one for the other is a consideration we want to make, because I think that is not healthy overall for the ecosystem, and it's not really even a problem because the marketing is
Yeah.
directed at both.
Right, and I can speak to that. Like the marketing has always been directed at both, and milk was first, so it had attention first. And when it was on PooCoin, as when that was listed, it got another surge, and that was great. But unfortunately, PooCoin listings are very expensive, and it's going to require butter growing so that we can continue to grow marketing expenses to continue to do larger projects like a PooCoin, advertisement and whatnot. But butter I've seen like chats, like, oh, I picked the wrong coin or I picked right. There is no wrong one. They work together. They're symbiotics. Like that, ideally would have a little of both. And milk's proven its usage. And as you can see, in 1 week, $15,000 is amazing with butter already, and that's a very low market cap. So I think as this project grows, it's shown what its potential is, and especially adding extra use cases. That's all going to just show how valuable milk or how valuable butter is as this project grows. It's still very early in its lifespan, and there was things we had to figure out. I feel like after these first couple weeks, we finally have a solid base now to like show people here's both, here's how they work together, and here's what's the future with them. And going into the use cases you're adding this week and the week after. But yeah, so that's just to answer. Yeah, I don't think it's split. That's always been kind of the goal, is to do both, at the same time. Um, Next question would be: would it be possible to have a physically larger roadmap image on the site?
Yeah, that's an easy change for me to make. I think I set the the website to make it like 25% the original size. So that's an easy fix for me. I didn't realize that it was so small on mobile. I can fix that. And then Irish, do you want to touch on the actual marketing side of that question? Or oh no, I see the YouTube video, our intro video is actually linked. If you see on the website, it says you can watch the intro video. It pulls up a little pop up, and then we could. It is possible for us to do a butter faucet. I think Irish is going to touch on it in a little bit, but we do have some giveaways planned. I think he's going to expand on it a little bit towards the end of the just
Oh yeah, and
regular
just
questions AMA. So we'll be able to do something like that for a faucet, so people can get butter, some butter. We don't want them to
cool.
too much.
Yeah,
We don't want to dump the price, of course, but
and the rest of that question wasn't read yet. Was would it be possible for the YouTube video to be embedded into the site directly? Which yes, we can definitely do it. So you don't have to even click a link. It should just be on the page. And then yeah, you answered the idea of a butter faucet. Next and next question has multiple, so I'll just go through it, one by one. So first is, what are the plans for continued growth, getting exposure to larger audiences, and to keep the volume growing and maintain the momentum? Uh, and then we have a suggestion following that saying more frequent updates. People don't see news for a while, and they see the prices inching down, they get nervous. So we see that, we hear you guys, and that's definitely a huge part of going into this week, where this goal is going to be community engagement. Like that's going to be like a huge focus for this week. And you'll see, I'm going to wait just a second, and I'm going to get to this news about our upcoming promotion tomorrow. And following that, there's going to be a huge focus and center on community engagement and doing just that. Now, the question for getting more like little tidbits out, daily, even if it's nothing big, just so there's a little announcement here and there to keep people engaged. That's going to go along with the next question of, we should add a news section to the main website. And if you want to touch on how you're going to do that, that's basically on the to-do list for this week's goals.
yeah. What was that? I'm sorry, I missed that. What was that? You were saying the 2D list?
Could Did I cut out?
Yeah, I think you cut out. I did not hear you.
Oh, sorry. Where did it cut out?
It cut out. You said that's on the to-do list. What's on the to-do list?
Oh, the to-do list is the news section. So,
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Yeah,
if you want to touch on that.
yeah. Tomorrow I'll be adding a news section. I know Electromagic on Telegram has made some really nice press releases for us, and we're gonna have a news site on the site, a news page on the site that's gonna have direct news from us. You have, a verifiable source. It's right on the website, so you know exactly what's going on. You don't have to hear it through a third party.
Yeah, the idea being that all of the news is coming from one source. So Claypool can easily go on there, put out an announcement, major or small. It may be a day where it's just I'm working on coding or I'm doing this for the website or whatever, but it's little tidbits to be transparent and show you guys what exactly is going on. And then from there, I can take what he announces and share it to all of our different socials and medias. But everybody can always look to that one source for immediate firsthand information. Um, we also have a question about making these announcements in UTC. I will do that. That's my bad. I run the socials, and I typically just use our time. I will going forward. We'll use UTC, so it's more inclusive for everybody and easier to math. And then the last three here, I kind of think I can address with the announcement, which is what's our marketing strategies for the coming weeks. Um, Two, they would love to see us collaborate with big YouTubers, influencers to hype up the coins. And do we have plans on improving the website, which we've already covered? It's always going to be a work in progress. We're always open to hearing new ideas, having people to submit things to make things better. Everything's always constantly adapting and changing. But for now, the main goal was getting the website functional with all of the things that we wanted, which is what Claypool's been working so hard to do this week. And once we have all of the guides were added, the news sections being added, once all that's in there, then we can start tweaking and refining, making maybe the colors better and prettier tabs if that's what people are looking for. Like, we can polish it up. So in terms of the first two questions, marketing strategies for the next coming weeks and collaborating with YouTubers slash influencers. We've had two influencers now. One got taken down immediately today, so I didn't make an announcement about it, but it'll be back up at some point tonight or tomorrow from a TikToker. And the first one, I think everybody saw, I made a bunch of announcements about the influencer who promoted us. The thing is, those didn't really get numbers because one, organic growth in the way that the algorithm works, sometimes this things on like YouTube and TikTok just don't get shown to the general public if they think it's spotted or it's just not hashtagged right or whatever, maybe the length of the video. There's a lot that goes into it just on that side. But also, it's heavily related to community engagement, which is why that's our focus next week. Because, I can make every post in the world, and I will continue to do so, and we'll continue to have Reddit posts and social posts. But if we only get 30 upvotes on a Reddit post, it's not going to stick out, right? It's not going to show to a lot more people who are going through a subreddit looking for, all right, what has a couple hundred, what's popping off right now. And that's why we're not seeing as many new people joining in right now, is we just don't have that same engagement as when the coin was being hyped up right when it first launched. And so I don't think YouTubers and influencers are going to change anything yet. That's kind of what I'm getting at, is as we've seen, we tried that, and having an influencer promote a coin but without the community engagement to back it doesn't do anything. But if we have the community engagement and hype and then have an influencer promote it after that, that's when we're going to see this huge spike, and that's what we need. So that's why this focus this week, this marketing push, is going to continue to run ads. We'll continue to have that going steadily this week, but we're going to have the community working together to upvote, create content, and really get the hype back up on these coins now that we have an established website with guides and functions for anyone who's never even heard of it before. Like, it should be a lot more user-friendly and a lot easier to get into, especially now that we have this intro video that's out. And so the big thing that we can start with tomorrow is going to be our recent donation. Almost $15,000, just under, donated to one charity, which I called down to Food for Life Global, and I was calling to get a quote, as I did with the last two. And this is leading into the next big announcement here, where the first two when I called, I just got kind of a desk jockey that gave me just where's it at, how many people would that feed kind of thing. And so as we found out, that 15,000 will feed 60,000 people. But as it went along, it turns out I was talking to the actual founder of the charity, and I didn't realize he
Michael, you're cutting out.
to exceed so much money, and
You're cutting out real bad, man.
hello,
You're cutting out so bad.
can you?
Are you on
I'm
Wi-Fi?
cutting out really.
Yeah, you're cutting out really, really bad. Yeah, I can't even hear you right now. So I'm gonna go ahead
Can
and
you can you hear me now?
yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, where did it cut out? I'm sorry, guys.
It
I
cut
don't know
out
what's
right
going on.
after you said you were talking to the blank. The co-founder is what you're gonna say.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I found out I was talking to the co-founder of the organization, and basically he was super excited to find out that there was a huge influx at once, and that it was with crypto, and he wanted to promote us. He basically was like, "This is amazing! Like, we need uh, we need more things like this where people using crypto and communicating and reaching out because we would love to cross promote you guys." So basically, the exciting announcement is that tomorrow, Food for Life Global is sending out on their newsletter, their mailing list, on all of their socials. They are officially acknowledging and promoting Butter Token on everything. So that should get us a ton of new eyes. It's going to be the first time that we've seen any sort of crypto token be officially promoted and acknowledged by um, by an official charity like this. And this is a huge charity. So in addition, we're hoping that this will kind of grab the attention of other charities so that going forth, other food charities that we work with, they're going to see, oh, this is Butter Token. This is who donated to them. And as our growth continues to climb, so will our donations and the sizes of them. And the larger the donations, the more attention we'll gain. But this is going to be part of the community engagement this week, is really getting out, hey, look, not only did we donate $15,000, but we are now acknowledged officially by this charity. And so if we can get everybody in the community to work together, and there will be an announcement following this with like where I can list, and I'm going to work with you guys. I want to work, I'm going to be down in chat just over the next couple of days, just getting ideas flowing, whatever we can. I'm going to have I already have some ideas that I'm going to put out for you guys, but a way to incentivize this is we're going to be doing giveaways. We have, I believe, $1 trillion in milk and $1 billion.
Not dollars. 1 trillion
Er,
milk and 1 billion
sorry,
butter.
not. Sorry, guys, we're trillionaires. My bad. 1 trillion in milk and 1 billion in butter tokens to give out. So that's sizable. We're going to be doing different giveaways this week using Gleam and different ideas we kind of have going around, but we're always open to new ideas for giveaway ideas. But we want to incentivize you guys to bring in new people to go out to the different Reddits, TikToks, and whether you're making your own content or you're just supporting others by liking, sharing, commenting. We want to grow this as much as we can this week. We need to build that hype back up and say, look, we what we've been working on. We haven't disappeared. It's just been constant work. And while you may have, I think a lot of people will come back, and hopefully the new goal is a lot of new eyes will see this because of this promotion with Food for Life. So yeah, I think it's going to go hand in hand this week with both marketing, community engagement, and this promotion starting tomorrow from their website. And I will link that to everybody and share it so you guys can see once that's all up. I'm in talks right now with the founder, and he says he'll let me know when those go live. But yeah, so I think this is going to be a really, really big week for butter and milk as well. They both grow together. I think a lot of worry has been on Butter Token and out and on its growth because it's been more stagnant. And I think we're going to finally see this climb that everybody's been looking for. So yeah, stay tuned for announcements on the giveaways and how they'll work, and more announcements in the coming days. But yeah, that was kind of the big announcement. So unless you have anything else you want to add, we can maybe open it up to people's questions now.
Yeah, I guess just another announcement. I'm pretty confident that our legal's gonna come back and say everything's okay. So I'm gonna link my personal like WordPress blog that has my full name in it, so everyone can go see who I am. So I guess I'm just gonna dox myself right now in the AMA chat and I guess the Twitch chat, so you guys can see that I am a real person, because I don't like people saying that I'm faking donations to charity and I'm faking everything. So I'm just gonna go ahead and post this. It's gonna be up to the rest of the team if they want to wait until we're actually a legal entity, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do it now because I'm tired of that being a constant source of worry for everybody. So yeah, this is me. This is Milk Token Dev. I'll post this in the Twitch chat too. Yeah, I mean, I see in
But
Twitch chat someone said this. We figured you out when you liked that one dude's tweet. So whatever, you guys have it. You guys can find me. It hasn't been hard this whole time. That's me. I'm Christian Claypool. You found it. So
The world's gonna change now.
Yeah, I hope so. I would like to enact some change in the world, make it a better place for everybody. Okay, so do we want to open it up for general questions now?
Yes, let's
Yeah, let
do
me
it.
change the
So
permissions. I know we had an issue last time where people had to leave and reconnect in order to join to actually speak. So if anyone can't speak right now, I've changed the permissions, but let's see if that actually works. You may need to disconnect and reconnect in order to actually speak.
That worked for me to just reconnect to the channel and you can speak.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I wish it would just update the like permissions real time. It's really frustrating that it has to make people uh, disconnect and reconnect. But yeah, I was just hoping that actually showing my my real identity gives some more transparency to the project, and I'm confident that legal's gonna be able to cover it.
Claypool, I'm seeing in chat.
What's that?
Said I'm seeing Daddy Claypool now in
Daddy
chat.
Claypool. I had to shave the beard for work. I'm sorry. It'll be back in a couple of weeks. It'll be back before our first video AMA. It has to be.
I love how I joked that they would call you Daddy Claypool, and we officially have someone calling you Daddy Claypool.
I know. Granddaddy Claypool. Oh God. Okay. Do we have any questions for anybody? The floor is open to you guys. If you aren't able to speak, you may want to disconnect and reconnect.
There's been so much to take in with this. I think anybody here who had doubts coming in is feeling better now about the direction of the project. I wanted to chat about the road map and possibly just adding more pizzazz. I guess all of our checked off accomplishments like done, done, done.
Yeah.
4,000, 1,000 donation, 12,000, 15,000 donations back to back to back, pounded on so that when people look, it's not just okay. Yeah, there are a couple of cool little like pretty icons here and there. I'd much rather see a like a I don't know, maybe a from here to there with where we're going and what we've done already. I know you've done a ton of work on it, and it's hard to put into words exactly what I'm saying, but I think you get the gist.
Yeah, I kind of understand what you're saying. We were kind of hoping that we had the roadmap on the site be like our big, like sort of like I guess milestone goals, and then our weekly goals that Irish was posting out would be our I guess, like, I guess, what is it, like, finger on the pulse, so you know what's going on. But I understand now, and we understand now, that that's not necessarily enough because people join in and they don't see that weekly thing. They just see that, you know, 4 or 5 blocks on the website as the roadmap. So I think we're gonna have to work on. Yeah, we're definitely gonna need a more detailed roadmap. And I'm not the greatest with designing graphics like that, so I'm gonna have to get someone on the team or someone in the community to help me out with that. But I do, yeah, I think we need something that shows those, unique sort of like tasks. Every task associated with the milestone that goes on. Like, yeah, Wednesday we're gonna have the butter voting mechanism completed, but what are the tasks associated with that? And we need people to be able to see those. So
Yeah,
I do agree with you.
all of the back end and stuff like those are important things, and the community doesn't necessarily know that you wrote the entire staking stuff from scratch and put it in like with a what, a 3-day turnaround, dude. Like that sort of stuff, like seeing where we were and where we are now is super super important for a project like
Hmm.
this, especially at the initial day.
Yeah, I agree with you there, and I think that's a good way to add legitimacy to our project. Because yeah, I mean, tomorrow we're gonna have a huge, promotion from a real huge charity. A global charity is gonna promote our project. So yeah, I think having something you can easily go and see the things that we're doing. Yeah, I mean, we launched 2 tokens in a week. We made a staking protocol, a staking program in 1 week, and then in 3 days we're gonna have a voting mechanism, a governance mechanism, and then I'm hoping not even longer than a week after that we're gonna have the gamification mechanisms added. So I think it's important to show kind of the speed we're going. And there is a lot going on behind the scenes. I put on at least 4 to 5 hours of work on this a day since Milk Token launched, and I realize that that hasn't been seen by the community. So I think, yeah, I really do agree with you because adding that to the website and making that visible to everyone is going to add a lot of more transparency.
Yeah, even like I was saying earlier, like those little announcements just saying, "Hey, today work on the website." People can see that way they don't see any silence, and that's definitely coming. But yeah, I think one concern we had when we initially started is like, let's not lie to people. Say what Lambo's coming today. Everybody get in now. Hype, hype, hype. When moon. But now we have something to hype, right? We are probably the first crypto to be officially acknowledged and promoted on a world charities platform. So we can hype that. And I encourage people to do so. And like I said, there will be an announcement for those that didn't see this, or just to reaffirm, like saying, like, make posts, like I'll start making posts as well. But we need to get the word out to the community. This is how we spread the word, is starting with us and growing from here. Um, but I saw a question saying in chat right now, like, do we have to use voice chat or can we type? You guys can type too. I'm going to be looking through.
Yeah, let
So
me unlock the AMA questions because I don't know if they're talking about just Twitch or
I,
Discord
I
as
I think they're
well.
talking
I see
about
a
in
lot of
Twitch.
questions
I'm assuming
on
if they're in Twitch, they'll
Twitch.
type.
Okay, I'm gonna
That'd probably
unlock
be
the AMA and Discord as well.
okay.
One of the
So I'm going to go
questions I have
through.
about, I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead, Electra. What?
I was going to say, one of the things that I'd love to see in our marketing, and I know I have a small part in that, so I'll make sure that I'm saying it as well, is we're donating 5% of our tokens market cap. Like, that's unbelievable. We see huge donations going out occasionally from tokens when they get so big that people are like, okay, yeah, but what have you done? But then they donate 20, $30,000 from a 20 million market cap coin. I think if we're pushing how small we are and how big we're donating, that can be a really big selling point. Plus, it also brings eyes to our market cap and lets apes know that, hey, your money goes a long way in this project if you wanted to try to think about a long-term hold.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, and that will definitely be emphasized in the coming days and going forward. And I also, just to add on to that, you reminded me of something I totally forgot to mention in my conversation with the founder of Food for Life, is that they actually have this awesome setup that Claypool mentioned way earlier in the AMA that can track things. So it's called OM Guaranteed, and just like you might see charities willy-nilly throwing out statements like, for every nickel we plant a tree, or we do, you don't really see it, or you don't know how true that is. This website tracks it to the dime, tracks exactly where it goes, shows how much it's feeding people, planting trees, or whatever the charity is, and updates it as a live tracker that you can put on your website or whatever. So what we're going to do going forward, with charities that allow it, but we know for a fact Food for Life allows it if they get voted for future polls, is we can donate through this OM guarantee. It'll feed just as many people. If, say, we did 15,000 again, it would feed 60,000, but it would update. We could have on our website a live tracker showing exactly as they get fed, and so everyone can see, and it's super transparent, which is awesome. And then I want to answer, just before we have any more people speak on here, just a couple of the written ones I'm seeing on here, which is, can we have the audit on the website? Yeah, that will be going up. Claypool's going
Yeah,
to
it
add
is
that.
there, but you're right. I should make it kind of front and center. And the only reason we haven't gotten an audit for butter yet is because the last thing we were really dinged on our dessert swap audit for milk was that we had an anonymous team. And yeah, I've gone ahead and doxed myself, but I don't know if the rest of the team's gonna be comfortable with that. And I would like to get a legal entity established so everyone else feels comfortable with that before we can get the audit, because then they'll able to actually give us a risk assessment and they'll actually be able to, I mean, remove. There were initially when they sent me the audit, there were 6 risk factors I believe that they sent us, and I fixed 4 of them. And one of them was the last 2 remaining were an anonymous team, and the other one was a proof of origination from the charities we donated to. And I think tomorrow, with the promotion from the actual charity we donated to, that's going to be alleviated. And by the time we're a legal entity, yeah, everyone will be comfortable doxing themselves, so that will also be alleviated. Hopefully, that happens within the next week. We get the paperwork filed, so then we can submit Butter Token for an expedited audit, a 24-hour audit from Dessert Swap, and we can have 2 token audits. One first one for milk that you guys see that there's nothing crazy going on with it, and then butter will be, I mean, almost spotless, I imagine, because of the fact that we'll have a full docs team and we'll have the charities actually acknowledging that we're donating to them.
Right. And I think that'll go along with this question, when's our first video AMA, which is once the whole team has doxed themselves, there's nothing, no face, no identity to hide. So I think shortly after the legal entity, we're made a legal entity, the first AMA would be a video one if we could set that up via Discord or whatever. I don't see any other questions right now in chat. So does anyone in the actual general want to speak or ask anything else?
There was one question from Pistol 7 in the AMA questions. What will exchange listings mean for the internal reflection of milk, and especially for butter stakers, or for milk stakers who are churning their milk? We know that when we see these deflationary coins enter exchanges, or it can be really difficult to keep the redistribution mechanics working correctly when the everybody's balance is in a single like hot wallet owned by the exchange.
Yeah, that's going to be, honestly, that's going to be an interesting thing to address once it comes up, because yeah, a lot of these exchanges work with, they have a single hot wallet and they have like a memo attached that actually is reflective of your personal, I guess, ownership of that wallet. So we may have to figure out a way to incorporate that, and I don't know if that's possible. It's going to come to the point when we've been reached out to by several exchanges already. None of them huge, none of them like Whitebit level, so we don't want to absolutely hype up that fact, but we have been reached out to a few exchanges, and we may just go ahead and ask them how they would incorporate that, just so we can get like a finger on the pulse to know what's going to happen when we actually get to those exchanges. But yeah, I mean, it's very hard to know until you actually are in direct contact to know how their actual exchange works, and whether it's people exchanging between personal wallets or people exchanging in one large hot wallet with like memos attached that is your actual, I guess, quote unquote address within the exchange. It's just going to take us actually getting in contact with those exchanges, and I guess hearing from them how their mechanics work behind the scenes, because they're a lot of them really aren't very open. It's hard to find a lot of information on all of these. You'd think that, you know, a lot of these companies like say Binance, or I mean even like PancakeSwap, that team for PancakeSwap is completely anonymous. No one knows who they are. So it's very hard to find the information, and that's one of the really unfortunate things about crypto is that it's, I mean, yeah, great. It gives people a lot of anonymity when they do stuff, but the problem is when people are having to trust people with anonymity, which I think is a bad thing to do. That's why I tried to make, the butter and milk token contracts as trustless as possible. You can look in and you can see everything that happened, and I can't do anything to make it so you guys can't sell. I can't, even if I wanted to, I couldn't rug pull either token, because I just think that the whole blockchain's point and the whole point of smart contracts is entirely trustless interaction. But a lot of these exchanges have kind of centralized exchanges have made it so you have to trust them not to do that. And so it's kind of going to come to that point where we need to, cross that bridge when we come to that, because we don't know how they operate.
I don't know the
Yeah.
exact I don't know the exact details, but there's another project that was able to actually get um, one of the centralized exchanges to honor the reflection portion of the contract. So it might be something that when we get to that point to look into, because it does certainly seem like it's possible.
Definitely, we'll have to look into that. If other people have done it, then we can do it too. I'm confident in that fact.
Definitely. We have another question in the Twitch chat. Is the benefit of staking milk into butter going to be generating the butter? But the risk slash fallback is if milk is climbing fast and butter isn't, then you'd be missing out on the accrued milk you had left if unstaked into butter.
Yeah, that's kind of the sort of risk reward calculation you have to do yourself. Is do you want half of your milk to not get those milk reflection fees and get the butter reflection fees instead? That's really the only trade-off right now is you have to kind of weigh what's going on with milk and butter.
Right. Okay. Yeah, unless I'm missing something else in chat, I think that's it for written ones. Anybody else in voice chat want to ask a question? We got about 10 minutes left in the AMA if we need that time. No. Alrighty. Um.
I guess
Well.
we
Oh,
had the
sorry.
same. It was just a rephrase of the question on the Twitch chat. And honestly, I can answer this even just as a chat mod. We're not financial advisors, and really trying to figure out what the what the best time to stake and unstake is. It's entirely market dependent and it's entirely investor driven, like what coin does what.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's something
Definitely.
that we say every time is that we're not financial advisors here. We're not going to tell you to do one thing or another with your tokens. We can't even really offer you good advice because uh, we're working with the exact same information that everyone else is.
Yeah. Definitely do your own research, make your own informed investments. That's 100% correct. And yeah, I want to take a moment to like thank Electro and every other mod that's helped us out so much in the last few weeks. It's really helped so that some of these things that go on behind the scenes are that we can even do that, because the first, I'd say, almost 4 days, it was very hard for me to even focus on proper social media treatment and whatnot, because I was constantly answering questions and getting things right, like with all that huge influx of people at once. And thanks to all the admins and mods we have going on right now, like it's helped so much having you guys answer, you know, in welcoming anyone who's new or with their intro questions that you've probably answered 100 times, yet you answer with the good attitude every time. We really appreciate that. Um, and yeah, this week's going to be big. It's going to be really big, and I'm excited to work with the community and get the word out there and hype up butter and get it seen as it should be deserved. Um, but yeah, I think that kind of sums it up. Unless anybody else has anything else to add or ask.
Is there a set timeline for the next AMA?
I think right now we talked about it. We're thinking Sundays just seems to be what works. We could just keep doing Sunday nights, and then if there needs to be one that pops up sooner, or if there's something that changes. But for now, unless Claypool disagrees, maybe we could just set that as the kind of standby time is every Sunday. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's fine. We just have to work with the rest of the team is 2 hours ahead of us, so we have to kind of
Yeah.
coordinate with them a little bit. But other than that, I think they'll be fine with it. I think we had a miscommunication where they didn't realize they needed to be here for this. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
how about the same question on a timeline for donations? Is it going to just be kind of eventually a set time, weekly, monthly, or is that going to be kind of on demand based on how much traction butter gets?
yeah, we would really like it to be weekly. The ideal goal is if butter reaches enough of trading volume, we could do it weekly, but bi-weekly. Starting after I on Wednesday put out the page on the site that allows people to vote using their butter tokens, we'll do bi-weekly. And the end goal is that we're able to do weekly donations every Friday the donation voting closes, and Saturday the donation goes out.
Nice. And I know this is a little bit longer down the road, possibly, but is it still a goal to try to somehow track each kind of person's, not maybe exactly, but how much they've kind of done their part to donate for those donations, just to kind of get some more community engagement from that as well, to kind of track it from wallet to wallet, or is that going to be something that's not going to be easily integrated?
Yeah, that's something that's entirely possible because it's all, all those fee collections happen on the blockchain, so they're all completely traceable. So it'll be something that I have to, make, or if we're at the point where I can, have someone else hire someone else to help me out with blockchain stuff, we can actually, get someone else to get in on. But it's all traceable, so it is entirely possible that we're able to trace each wallet's contributions to the charity wallet. It's entirely possible.
We have another question coming in from the Twitch chat about in our mobile wallets. Do we know when we'll be able to see these awesome icons that Fakies put together? Does that come with our listings? Is that the point that the icons start to show up, or do you know when that will occur?
I don't actually know because I know I'm like a top 1% holder in SafeMoon, and they were listed on CoinMarketCap once they hit around 10 million, 20 million market cap, and their actual icon didn't show up until a week or so after. So I don't really know what processes have to go on in the back end to actually make that icon show up. I would love to do them as soon as possible, but I think actually being a tracked listing on CoinMarketCap is going to be the first step because I think that's where Trust Wallet actually pulls that information from. Which, if that were the case, we should have it by now, which we don't. So I have to. I mean, I'm probably gonna reach out or have someone on the team reach out to CoinMarketCap and find out, and maybe Trust Wallet to find out how we get those icons actually incorporated. Because yeah, it'd be nice to have our icon on Trust Wallet and PancakeSwap as well.
It's such a nice icon.
Yeah, Fakers did a great job. I love those icons.
Yeah, 100%. Do we have anything else before we wrap up? All right. Well, maybe you can close us out with a final statement, Claypool. But I'll just say, thank you guys so much for tuning in and for asking good questions. And we'll continue to be transparent and keep you guys up to date. Sorry for the tech issues on my end. That was, I think, purely service and mic issues. So sorry we were a little delayed and I kept cutting in and out. But yeah, thanks for bearing with us. Anything else you want to add before we shut it down?
Yeah, just thanks everyone for being here. We've got, a lot planned. We're gonna have the butter voting mechanism done by Wednesday, and we're gonna have a lot more planned. And we're gonna be much more transparent with, daily updates on what everyone in the team is doing, what I'm doing, what Irish is doing. So you can look forward to a lot of that. And then tomorrow we have the actual, recognition from the charity. So there's a lot to look forward to. We're doing a lot of good things here. We're building a lot of legitimacy here, and I'm very excited for it. I know the rest of the team is very excited for it. So if that's all you guys have, then we'll see. We'll see you next time.
Daddy Claypool out.
I don't want that to catch on.
Well,
I'm totally making a meme.
There's no better way to make it catch on than to have the granddaddy hate it. So I think it's all in at this point.
Okay. You guys do what you want with that information.
All right. See you guys. Have a good night.
All right. Catch
Take it
everyone
easy.
next time.